Shawn, and Nerfcast.
Just like taking all my thunder there.
Yeah.
Jerk.
Thunderstrike.
Thundercats. Oh.
Oh.
I don't think that's the first time I've done a Thundercats reference on this show, but who knows? Anywho, Josh, do you want me to reveal what we're talking about today, since you did the lovely intro?
I know what we're talking about today.
I mean, yeah, we just spent the past 10 minutes talking about what we're going to talk about. So now let's talk about it to you, the fans, what we're going to talk about. Josh, go ahead.
It's Thundercats. Because, wait, follow me here.
Uh-huh.
There is a new Nerf sword being released that looks suspiciously like the Sword of Omens.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you just repaint it. It's cool.
No, then it doesn't look like it. It's just, like, all swords look like other swords. They're just like, oh yeah, there's a different color.
Nah, because it's got the little... It goes up in circles, and I could look through it, like the Sword of Omens. It'll give me sight beyond sight.
Did you mention that this is the zombie strike line we're talking about?
Nah, everybody knows.
Okay. Everyone knows? Okay, everyone, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Happy tagging. No, but seriously, there's been a lot of news coming out on the zombie strike line, which is interesting because it was just revealed by Nerf, at the recording of this podcast, it's been about a week, I think.
Yeah.
We've seen leaks coming out about a month ago, kind of out of left field, just because it looked like a lot of stuff was just kind of like reshelled or repainted from the Rebel line and adapted for zombie stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, that wasn't a move that we found particularly amazing or enlightening. It was like, well, okay, they're going to do a line that they're trying to gear towards girls. Well, they'll try to do something that's more boyish, but is not just the regular Nerf stuff, something that screams, I don't know why. I mean, zombies are cool. I don't look at them as exclusively a boys' toys. Boys' toys.
Boy George.
Blue's Clues. Anyway. But yeah.
I disagree with you, by the way. Like you said, we weren't impressed by it. Here's the thing.
No, not impressed. I'm just saying it wasn't a revelation that they were going to try to release a boys line at the same time as a girls line.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like we weren't on board with this idea, because I've been seeing a lot of hate online of people are just saying, oh, I'm kind of underwhelmed with this series. It's just some basic pistols that have been reshelled and stuff like that. And I'm like, A, it's hard to innovate all the time.
Agreed.
So if you want to make a better pistol, if you can make a better mousetrap, by all means, go for it. Did I start with A or 1?
B2.
B2. I can just re-listen to it and figure it out, but that'll be too late. B2. We've talked a lot about just different colored blasters and how much we both personally really like being able to customize your colors without having to paint and stuff like that. I mean, Josh loves to paint. He does great paint jobs and mods on his blaster.
I like painting.
I like just going out and buying a different color. Let someone who is manufacturing millions of this product go ahead and just paint it for me.
Oh, I would love things to be painted already. But, Nerf.
Well,
not necessarily. One color was going to be it. Not that I dislike Elite Blue, because I have actually painted other blasters Elite Blue just so they all kind of match. But I like the variety.
Mm-hmm. See, with me, I think I mentioned before, like, I have every color Zing bow on the market right now, except the new, what did they release? It's like a wooden one. It's like legendary.
Do you have, like, the super green one? Because I just saw, like, a zombie bow.
Yeah, so there's the Zombie Slayer bow. Sorry. I'm a little tired at the time of recording this. We're recording, like, in the dead of night to make it zombie appropriate.
There we go.
Yes, I can hear them right outside my window right now.
No, it's not even... See, I found one... Sorry to get off topic with these Zing bows, but I saw one... I wish I had sent this to you, but for some reason I didn't. Mm-hmm. That is all green.
Okay.
And, like, a little bit of black, but it's like a clear green. It's called, like, the Z-Tech Storm or something.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, nice.
I have two green ones. One's like a solid green, and the other one's like a translucent green.
That's probably I'm probably thinking of the solid green one. That's why.
Yeah, I also have orange, a couple of the pinks. I don't have Zombie Slayer or the new one they just came out with the wooden detailing, but I definitely want to get those. I just want to have a wall with Zing bows. They're so pretty.
They are.
Especially the Air Huntress.
Bless you, Zing.
Yes.
Bless you.
But yeah, like I was saying, this is what I really kind of like about this line. It's taking some old blasters, kind of redesigning them, giving them a new flair, new style, and kind of just not necessarily even going after a new demographic, because I wouldn't say these are geared necessarily towards boys. Like Rebel, there's no way around it. The Rebel's meant for girls. I'm a guy, I want to buy Rebel stuff. That's fine, whatever. If you're a girl and you want to buy the Elite line, that's fine too, whatever. Zombie Strike doesn't really strike me as necessarily one way or the other, per se.
No, I agree. I think it's more they released a line with some of the same blasters like the crossbow and the hammer shot, which are copies of the same thing they're releasing in pink in case kids age, 6 to 10 don't want a pink version of this. They can get it in another color that's more gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Hasbro, some people have been kind of negative about the whole pink thing. To me, I don't know. Here's what I think about the Rebel line. People are saying, "Oh, you're stereotyping girls, and you're using pink in these colors instead of empowering them, this and that. You're just throwing the same thing out there that everybody else is with the pink." And I go, here's the way I feel about it. Is yeah, Nerf could do some boys and girls in the same commercial using regular colored Nerf guns. They could do that, and I don't think that would suddenly change their target demographic of Nerf blasters into a boy and girl demographic. Having those colors there is to try to grasp the market of girls who would not normally buy Nerf blasters. Because I feel like there are girls that will buy Nerf blasters and they don't want those colors, and there are some of the ones that might be like, well, I don't want a pink blaster. Cool, you can buy one that's not pink. You could buy any of the other stuff that's out right now. You probably already own it. They're trying to get the ones who don't already own blasters to try to tap into a market that has no idea that they exist, pretty much.
Exactly. Like, I was showing this to my female coworkers, and I was asking her opinion on it, and it's like, no, it makes sense. Anyone who would want a different color blaster already had the option to go out and buy it. Nerf is just saying, hey, we want to include more styles so that way everyone can get something that personally appeals to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel like the Zombie Strike series is just another iteration of. You're saying, hey, this isn't for boys or for girls. It's for people who love zombies and zombie culture, which is really big right now. I mean, you have, The Walking Dead, Dead Island, Warm Bodies. I can literally sit here all day going back to Romero just for zombies. I love zombies.
Not to mention the fact that I'm sure Hasbro has heard of the HVZ community and wants to show their appreciation in some way. And by releasing zombie-themed blasters, they're kind of like, we acknowledge that you're here and we appreciate that you are using our products. I don't know. Maybe not, but I feel like Hasbro wants to say thanks without straight up making blasters that are exclusively for HVZ, since Humans vs. Zombies already actually had a deal with Toys R Us, I think, and they produced some HVZ blasters that weren't amazing, from my understanding. I never purchased one, but...
Yeah, I'm familiar with them, but I never actually saw them in stores, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Something kind of interesting, though, if you look on some of the packaging for some of the blasters, they have different guys. I'll be straight up with you. It's all guys. It's different dudes dressed in, hoodies, baseball caps, backward caps.
Yep.
Kind of like an urban-looking gear, look like they're running through garbage and stuff like that. There are 4 different characters, all of them are dudes.
Yeah, and it's the same with that's what I was saying. They're making it a more boy-friendly line. It's definitely geared towards boys, but since it's zombies, it's kind of gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. The interesting thing to me about this marketing is that they're all drawn. It's not like regular Nerf blasters where you've got a kid or, I don't know, teenager sometimes on the packaging smiling and blasting it. They're like comic book drawings of these extreme, I don't know, I say extreme looking uh dudes with blasters and stuff, but
They're very 90s looking,
they're very
honestly.
90s looking. They've got hoodies with like, I don't know, there's just
Backwards
extreme
baseball
shadowing.
caps. It looks like they were in the streets of New York. That
Yeah,
one of them
right.
might become a planeteer and have the power of fire and speak with like a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, their shirts are kind of ripped and they've all got elbow pads on and things. Uh, they don't necessarily look like they are in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, but you know, it is what it is. It's cool.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that they'd go with this animation style because, I mean, this is kind of risky territory. Well, not risky, but kind of more extreme than Nerf usually goes for. Because if you read the blasters themselves, they usually have some note like "Don't shoot people in the eye." I think did you even notice, Josh, that they said something about like "Don't shoot other people"?
Yeah, I think I don't know if they still have it on blasters, but I remember reading the side of one a while back, and it was like, "Do not aim blaster at pets or people." I was like, "Isn't that literally the point of your blaster? To aim at people?" I mean, you have a whole dart tag line. I think now they just say like, "Always wear eye protection when playing with our toys," or
Hmm.
something to that effect. But yeah,
But with zombies, there's no two ways around it. You're shooting a blaster at a zombie to try and incapacitate or kill it. Well, not kill
right,
it, but eliminate it. There we go.
yeah, there,
Terminate it.
there you go.
Yeah, that's because they're undead, so you can't kill them, obviously.
Right.
But with the zombies, yeah, you're doing bodily harm to them to blast them. That's the whole point of the blaster. So if you have a human kid shooting a zombie, A, it's bad because it's looking like actual violence. And B, I mean, zombies aren't pretty.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of takes it up a notch. You don't really see anything zombie aimed at what you would think of as the target demographic. I think Nerf is ages 6 and up, so I think around 6 to, early teens is sort of what they're aiming at. 10, 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Maybe by the time you're starting to hit 13, you might be able to see some PG-13 zombie flicks, but I mean, really, the idea of zombies in movies is fairly adult. I mean, once in a while you get like there was a zombie character, side character, briefly in Wreck-It Ralph. So it's not like kids don't know what zombies are, but I wouldn't say that they are. It is a core part of their demographic, something that they would know, like superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
If they were going to make a superhero line, I'd be like, that makes sense. A lot of superhero stuff going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Target demographic, perfect cross.
You already have the licensing deals for a lot of the superhero stuff, like all of Marvel you can make stuff for, so
Right?
it is really weird, by the way, that, I mean, they make, I think we've talked about this before, where they, like, if you look at some of the toys for, like, Marvel toys that are, like, blasters or little, like, projectile toys, they'll usually put on the box from the makers of Nerf, because they're
Yeah,
done
and
by Hasbro.
they use that Nerf logo, so you know they're trying to do that cross promotion and that branding. I just don't know why they don't do more Nerf stuff. Like they made a Hawkeye bow. Cool. Where's but then they have an Iron Man blaster that shoots other things. Like you have a whole Vortex line, just make it shoot Vortex discs.
It's like, why not just standardize it? It seems like it'd cost you guys more money to sit here and make these different types of, like, projectiles or different launching systems. Just use what you got.
Yeah, I mean, they did a barricade that they put Optimus Prime on. I'm like, just you don't even have to do more stuff. Just remake the blasters you have in different colors that are superhero based, or throw a superhero logo on it, and I'm sure that Nerf sales will go up just based on that.
Mhm.
Especially if you do it around the time of movie premieres.
Yeah, I mean, that's just such easy cross promotion. But, I mean, at least they are seeing that there's popularity with zombie stuff, and I think a lot of the chatter has been just the design of the blasters, which we should just go into, actually, because we haven't touched upon that yet. We've talked about the aesthetics, the style,
True, true.
but these blasters, so let's start with the one I kind of think is really cool. So there's the Sludge Fire. That's kind of the standout blaster to me in this series. So, basically looking at this blaster, it's basically a blunderbuss. You load 3 shots into it, and it fires all 3 shots in a spread at once.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Oh,
So,
still there?
yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. You disappeared. Just got quiet.
I thought you were gonna say more.
No,
It's like, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not gonna tell you why, but it is.
because it's shooting 3 darts. I thought Shawn was like, I'm really tired today, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, this is how it goes.
See, Josh is used to me. Back when we used to play more video games, we'd be up late playing Gears of War at night, and it would just be basically like we'd be doing horde mode. Speaking of zombies, and I would be on a turret or something like that, and like, oh, Shawn, I'm down. Shawn, jump off the turret and save me. Shawn, why aren't you shooting? Shawn?
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, I'd be like, ah, and then just start shooting the turret as soon as I woke up. Like,
It'd be in between rounds. There's no enemies. Shawn woke up. That's the...
Yeah. Don't worry,
yeah,
Josh. I have sugar next to me. I'm making myself stay up. If my energy is low today, that is why, and I apologize for that. I've just had a very tiring week. But I love you guys, so I'm recording this late at night when I should be asleep.
This is a labor of love for Shawn here.
Yes. It's also, if Josh sounds peppier, it's because he's making up for me.
Yeah, I also might have eaten a box of Girl Scout cookies before.
Son of a... You have What kind? What kind did you eat?
Thin Mints.
Ah, those are the best ones.
Oh, I love Thin Mints.
Here's what you do. You get 2 Thin Mints, get a little peanut butter, put it between. It's like a peanut butter and chocolate and minty Oreo.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people out there are like, that's freaking disgusting. Why would you even suggest that? Try it. Trust me. You like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Trust me, you'll like it.
Yeah.
Almost as much as people are liking the Zombie Strike Sludge Fire.
There we go.
Yep, tied it back in.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, of course, a lot of these we need to see performance and stuff. There's a couple of videos out or leaked. Which one it was leaked? What's it called? The Hammer Shot, right?
Yeah.
Yes. One of those I want to judge when I get things in my hand. Sometimes people online are just concerned about pure distance, but I feel like there's a lot more to Nerf blasters than just distance. Like we were talking about, when you can shoot already 2 darts is kind of cool when you're assaulting like a flag or a base or something. It's a lot harder to dodge 2 darts. Now you're shooting 3.
It is 50% more darts shot at the same time.
Exactly. The design itself, I think, is kind of interesting. I don't know how comfortable it's going to be. It's got a stock that sort of attaches to this, not quite a pistol grip. It's at an angle that's sort of like the long strike, the way the handle is, and then you can put darts in the actual stock. But I believe you put darts inside of cartridges. So it's kind of acting like a shotgun. Or it's got like these little orange shotgun shells, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of in response to, if you're familiar with Buzzbee, people out there in the audience, I know Josh is.
Oh, yeah.
They had a shotgun that people loved because when you open it up, it would actually eject shells out that you had to load the darts back into. And performance sucked on it. It only gets you like 30, 35 feet. Not that great, but I mean, it's just fun popping open a shotgun. You have the shells just fly out at you. It makes it feel a lot more real. Now, these shells inside this guy, the Sludge Fire, are not going to actually spring out, it seems. They just kind of stay in there. It's good or bad, depending on how you look at it. I mean, I love the visual of the shells popping out, but realistic, it's like, oh, they popped out. Now they're on the floor. Let me pick those up so I can reload. It's like,
I was going to say, as a cool factor, it's down, but functionality is up because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, you don't have to worry about stepping on them and breaking them and needing to buy new ones because they're just plastic shells. At least you'll be able to be, okay, I can take them out, put them in a dump pouch or whatever, and move on.
I mean, granted, this isn't guaranteed, but it's just basically first analysis of the blasters. When you look at them, when you think about how Nerf usually operates, it seems like it would be odd just to have a spring mechanism to launch those out instead of just keeping them internal. But we'll see when they come out, which will hopefully be very soon.
Hopefully very soon.
Yeah, so if you actually, well, let's keep talking about the blaster. We'll get into that into a little
Yeah.
bit. So another one of the interesting facts about this line is it's not just Elite Series stuff you're seeing. I mean, that's another thing too, actually, I didn't even mention. If you look on the handles of some of the blasters coming out in the Zombie Strike line, they actually still have the N-Strike Elite emblem on the handles.
Yeah, that's interesting. So we'll see if once people start opening them up, if they're direct plunger, things like that. Obviously, as we've seen from the Centurion, N-Strike Elite does not automatically mean direct plunger anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. It's just something to consider.
Yeah, I mean, there are some different types of internals going on for these blasters too. Like, which is the one where it's, oh god, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's the one where it actually has the priming mechanism is the little, flintlock thingy on the back. Is that what it's
Isn't it the
called?
hammer shot?
That's the hammer shot, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not quite certain. I haven't seen any test fire videos. I don't know if you have, Sean, of this shotgun, but I have no idea how the sledge fire works.
No, sorry, the hammer shot is the one with the priming mechanism with the little, thing on the
Right.
back.
Yes.
The
So
sledge
the hammer
primer is
shot
the one
for
that
sure.
pops open and shoots 3 shots. The hammer shot is the one where it's a one-handed, very similar to a strong arm looks.
Yes. So what I'm saying is I have not seen any firing videos on the sledge fire, which is the shotgun 3 dart blasting guy. I know you got to break it apart, breech load it. It looks like to put the darts in, but does that also prime the blaster is what I'm saying? Because if you look in the back on the picture, it looks like it has a little hammer almost in the back, and I'm not certain if that's something you pull back and out or down this in a similar manner as the hammer shot.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the reason I was actually bringing up the hammer shot was because with it, it's weird because obviously the priming mechanism is too far back and it's not inside the blaster itself. The tube goes inside the handle, the plunger tube. So when you're pulling it back, it's basically priming into the handle, kind of similar to, I guess you would say like a triad or a jolt.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it just instead of pulling down, it's pushing it down. So it's going to be a little bit different, but yeah, the internal shock, it's really kind of interesting to see that they'd go that route. I don't know how easy that'll make it to do potential mods or replacements or anything like that, but just a completely different setup than we've seen in a lot of blasters. So you are seeing innovation in this line. There are differences from the typical blasters other than just reshells.
And again, I feel like Nerf / Hasbro was listening to some of its fans because everybody sort of saw the hammer shot and got excited because of this priming mechanism and the potential to do it with just your thumb or one-handed. So you're not going to have you could dual wield a little bit easier than you would be able to a blaster that you need to prime sort of with 2 hands. And of course the just sort of cowboy shot, people want to know how it's going to if you can do it, just the back, pull the hammer back down and go. So yeah, it's gotten some flack for having, I believe it's only a 5 shot instead of a 6 shot rotating turret, or revolver. There we go. But
that's it.
You know, we'll see when it comes out. But I know quite a few people personally that are excited about this just for the fact that you could one hand just go with this. So if you need to pull out a secondary blast, you're fine.
Well, I think the big thing too is we do have primaries that can be shot one-handed, like the Strife. The problem is they're flywheel designed, so you have to rev them up before you can fire.
Right.
If you're trying to go for a sneak kill or a quiet kill, then you're going to want to be quiet. You don't want to sit there and like go right before you shoot someone.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Plus, with the potential ability to mod it with other springs or larger tanks, things like that, taking out air restrictors, we really don't know sort of what the potential is going to be until people start modding it.
Mhm.
So I know people that are excited just to see what they can get done.
The good thing about the hammer shot too is it should be out, like I said, as of the recording of this podcast very soon. It's a Target exclusive. It has Target exclusive on the box for it. And the
Right.
release date is actually going to be August 4th. So that's going to be just a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, hopefully very, very soon. And in fact, I'm a little confused with this line. I'm not certain if the entire thing is Target exclusive or not. Do we know for certain? Because I know a lot of the pictures at Comic-Con have a little thing that say exclusively at Target, but they're in a display case. So I'm not, I'm unsure if that exclusively at Target is supposed to pertain to everything that we're seeing in that display case or just, the hammer shot, which it happens to be next to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the hammer shot is, I think, guaranteed just because if you look on the packaging, it does have the exclusive at Target packaging on there.
Correct, yeah.
The other boxes, okay, so the Sludge Fire also has exclusives at Target on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to just dig around right now. I have all the pictures in front of me, so I should be able to spot check myself very quickly. But,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm seeing anything else that's in the box saying exclusive at Target. Zombie bombs, I think. Yeah, nothing on the zombie bombs, which we'll get into later. Oh, is one of these a brick? Oh, that's something I didn't notice before. We'll get into that later, but yeah. Going back to the blasters, so Sludge Fire, Hammer Shot, both new designs, new type of loading mechanisms, not just reshells, just completely redone. Very cool. We also have a new crossbow that was coming out.
It is called the Crossfire!
You'll get caught up in the
Crossfire!
Speaking of 90s kids, God.
Yeah. Boy, that game used to hurt my fingers. And a lot of you listening to this podcast might be too young to remember that game.
Mm-hmm.
But it was awesome.
It was super
awesome.
Look
up the commercial. We can't explain it. It just has to be experienced.
God, 90s kids were so cool. I feel like I watch kids on TV nowadays. They're not nearly as cool as 90 kids used to be. It's like, yeah, radical.
They don't all jump out wearing fingerless gloves and leather jackets.
Mm-hmm.
That'd
be mad cool.
Yeah.
So with this one, it's a crossbow design. It's a front-loading crossbow. It looks like streamlight darts. It looks like it has a rear priming mechanism. You just pull back and it fires. So realistically, it looks like kind of like a souped-up knife finder or what's the other one? Fire Strike. There we go.
Yep.
Sorry, they're getting so many reused names. Like there's like Rapid Strike, Zombie Strike. So I'm like, Fire. It can't be Strike. We've used that too many times already.
Yeah, they do like to sort of find interesting naming conventions, either with alliteration or like their whole Vortex line. Just about everything has a, what is it? Gone at the end or something like that. Vigilon, Lumitron, Paragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing Hasbro does well. They do theming with their blasters and naming them very well. Yeah. I always feel like you can kind of tell just by naming something about what line it'll be from.
That's true. That's actually probably a good thing, like you said, because I hear something on and I'm like, oh, it's got to be a Vortex blaster. But not necessarily. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Vortex blasters, this line also has, perfect transition. Didn't even set that one up.
No.
So the Vortex line also makes an appearance in the Zombie Strike line as well. I guess, I don't know if it's like cross the line?
I don't know, I just feel like, so I think that the Zombie Strike line is just sort of its own line. It's not necessarily meant to be part of the End Strike Elite line or part of the Vortex line exclusively, because they've got something from everything. End Strike, End Force, Vortex. I'm surprised we didn't see a laser tag in here, just because,
I mean, but when was the last time you saw any laser tag support from Nerf?
like a year ago or so.
Really? Is that
Maybe
one?
maybe it was 2. I don't honestly remember. I just remember them going on sale and I bought a bunch.
I would think 2 to 3 years ago. I think that was 2010 when the new version of the Eltar blasters came out.
Wow, really? It's very possible.
I mean, it's all they have on the market, so I don't think they've seen a need to really update and come out with new versions. But yeah, I mean, it's a more expensive line that isn't selling that well, so why introduce it when it doesn't even fit in with the rest of your line? Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't like the Vortex series for some reason, which I still enjoy it. You get great ranges, you get a different type of fire style, different type of blaster style. It's different than darts, but I mean, you're still having physical contact. With laser tag, you can only use laser tag blasters. That's all you
Right.
can use.
Yeah, it's again that physical aspect, and I totally agree with the Vortex line. There's some things that I really, really like about it over the regular Nerf line, and there's some things that there's actually just a few things that I dislike about it. I actually feel like it should be way more successful than it actually is. But since it was introduced later, it just didn't catch on because people were already sort of invested in Nerf.
Hmm.
Maybe. Don't know the reasoning. But whatever reason, the Fuse Fire is the Vortex Blaster
Hmm.
for the Zombie Strike line.
Good memory.
Yes. I'm also looking at it, so that helps.
Yes.
But I don't know if this I don't think is a reshell of an old Vortex Blaster.
The
It
fuse fire?
Yeah, the Fuse Fire. I'm looking at it and I believe it's only a single disc. But I don't remember the other, and you'll have to forgive me because I don't remember the names of all the Vortex Blasters as well, since we don't see them regularly at our games. But there is a single shot Vortex Blaster, and I don't remember it having this storage for 5 discs in the front like that.
Hmm.
Maybe it did. I just feel like it didn't, and it looked a little bit different. This one almost looks like the Diatron, which is the new one that came out at the same time as the Rough Cut, that shoots 2 discs at the same time.
Hmm.
But that has a side loading mechanism where you hit the magazine release, or what would be the magazine release, and the side sort of pops down. You can throw 10 discs in it, pop
Hmm.
it back up, and then it shoots.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they restructured it. I know there are a couple of blasters that had that huge front to it where it looked like it'd be additional disc storage and it wasn't.
Right.
It's one of those situations where once again I'd have to get my hands on it to check it out. But
Exactly.
there's all these new blasters coming out where we can pretty much talk about them. It made sense just to kind of like start covering them.
Yeah, definitely. Since so much information was released, and a lot of this is going to be old news for some of you, and
Hmm.
some of it you just like listening to us talk about what we think will happen or how that might affect the game.
Hmm.
Really, I think so far, I mean, there's still a few things to get to, but the
Yeah.
biggest thing are going to be the first 2 that we talked about, the Sludge Fire and the Hammer Shot, because one shoots obviously 3, and the other one is you can operate it with one hand.
Yeah, those are the only two real game changers. The rest of these are basically different versions of single shot pistols.
Mm-hmm.
One that I kind of like, the Flint Fire. God, all these
Side
just
strike?
the side strike. There we go. Thank God
Yeah.
Josh can remember names. That's the one with the holster, right?
You know what? Did that one come with a holster? I want to say yes. I forget which one the holster was for because they
Yeah,
actually
it's the
talk about
side
it
strike.
separately. But I can't imagine it was for anything else because the other blasters are sort of large. So yeah, no, it was definitely the side strike. This looks interesting. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this because it kind of reminds me of the what's it called? The
Reflex.
no, the
Use your
Scout.
words.
The Scout. I always liked the way that the Scout looked, and this sort of reminds me of that. So I'm interested to see if it's going to be direct plunger, not what the distances sort of are.
Hmm.
It does have sort of that Night Finder / Fire Strike feel with the 2 darts in the bottom that it can hold. That I'm not a huge fan about, but the top, the sort of priming mechanism looks pretty cool.
It does look nice, and I do like the green color on all these too, because green is my favorite color.
Yeah, no, I do like the green. I will be like really jonesing to repaint this guy in particular, and just maybe do some cosmetic mods on the side strike. And I do really like the idea that I don't know if it comes with this
It does.
holster.
It does.
I can't imagine that they'd sell it separately. That would just be.
Yeah, it's been confirmed to come with it.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's designed, if you look at the holster itself, it's shelled specifically for this blaster, and it's compatible with a couple other blasters too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's designed basically for this blaster, and this blaster primarily, so it comes in the box with it.
See, that's really neat. That's something that Nerf has needed to work on for a while. I think there's been a outcry not only for different sights and things like that and stocks that already do come with blasters, but something that has not really come with a blaster, which is a holster. They do have some meager offerings of the tactical vest, which on its largest setting sort of barely fits me, and I'm a small person. And the sling / bandolier that they have, which is sort of just terrible, and somehow they took a terrible design and made it worse because they were like, well, this doesn't hold 18-round magazines, which everybody likes. It holds individual darts, and the 6 rounds probably most of the time won't fall out if a kid's running around. So what are we going to do? We're going to re-release it for the Elite line. Everyone's like, well, what can you really do? Maybe they made the elastic better. They didn't do anything to the elastic. In fact, all they did is make it smaller. I don't know if any of you have noticed this, but I had 2 of them this last weekend, and I was helping one of my friends get ready for HVZ, and the blue, when you take it all the way out and make it as far as it can go, is significantly, I didn't measure it, so I don't have specifics, but is significantly shorter than the old orange one. I'm like, so you made a line of elite stuff for more kidults to use that get better ranges, and then you make the accessories less compatible somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited about this holster, because that's friggin' cool.
It's definitely a step in the right direction. What I would like to see actually is more holster types other than just these that use with simple pistols. Like, for example, we have, let's take a look at I can use my words right now, Retaliator, Strife, these smaller handgun blasters. It doesn't seem like it'd be too hard to get something that would just stick the front of the blaster into like a plastic cartridge that would hook onto your waist and just kind of secure it down.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, just release that as an accessory pack. Like, have it be like the Strife accessory pack and have it come with like a stock, this holster, and extra darts or something like that.
Yeah, Nerf, I'm sure, could make a ton of money selling just stuff like that. Accessories. Once again, and I know we've touched on this, you just gotta think of it sort of like the iPod market, where iPods are good, but all of the accessories make a ton of money because people want to customize their stuff and want to add different things. Not even because you need them, just because if I can, why wouldn't I? It looks cool.
Mm-hmm. And I know I have a lot of friends now. There's been more research being done lately on the accuracy of barrels. Not necessarily on performance differences for range, but for actual grouping of the darts. And it seems like performance is helping them out a lot. So I've actually used barrels in mods, and I would just like extra barrels just to attach to other blasters, just to have ready to go.
Definitely.
So not even a cosmetic thing, but more like, okay, this actually impacts performance, then I want it on my blaster. I want more accurate shots.
Yeah. No, totally. And I mean, they've got barrels of different lengths that you might find better accuracy or worse accuracy with. And they have barrels like the Spectre barrel, which are primarily so large that they'll allow darts through pretty much unrestricted and don't really decrease the range at all. So, release more stuff like that. People will eat it up.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of accessories, the newest accessories to come out for this one, there are a couple that I kind of like. They have the Zombie Striker ZS Jolt with dart holder.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I freaking love the color on this thing. So it's green and orange. Wooden detailing on the handle, not actual wood, but like the brown kind of wood look to it.
Right.
And it's really cool that they just put a random dart holder on the top there.
Yeah, I'm very interested. I'm sure that snaps off unless for some reason they would have glued it on. But that's really cool. It's just right there on the Jolt. Have a couple of extra shots. I know that the dart tag Jolt, it's not called the Jolt, but it basically is a Jolt.
Yeah.
That comes with the dart tag line, and they've had some other ones that function almost the exact same way as a Jolt, have room for extra darts to be held. I've always thought, well, that's kind of cool. I'd really love to get one of those, except for I don't want to pay $20 or $30 because it comes with a Velcro board and some stuff. I'd just release it by itself because I want to be able to hold extra darts with a Jolt type blaster that's small and fits in my pocket. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and on top of that too, there are actually targets are coming out with the zombie line as well, and not just like a wall target. It's actual plastic targets that you can just set up and put around and like on top of bookshelves, on top of fences, on the ground. They actually just prop up on their own.
Yeah, that is pretty neat, I guess. I mean, as a kid, it's exciting, and we might even be able to find a way to work it into some of our games and stuff, but...
Yeah, that's basically my logic behind it. I'm like, oh, there's got to be a use for this. Like, when Tech Recon actually showed their exploding targets, the first time I was like, I mean, that's cool, but what are you going to use them for? And my brain's like, well, let's think of what we can use them for. And you can bet I'm going to sit down one of these days and try and figure out, okay, I have like 20 exploding targets. How can I use these in Nerf?
Exactly.
Or Tech Recon or any tag-based foam blaster game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, aside from the Jolt, there's still more Vortex blasters, which, just to touch back on really quick, I know that I said yada yada on that I know it's a Vortex blaster. Fuse Fire, different naming convention, which is why I kind of feel like the whole Zombie Strike stuff, whole new naming conventions, even though they're Vortex and or Dart blasters, they're not going to be the sort of affiliated with the other lines.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rip Shot is another, I don't even know. It has some room for some darts to be held, or some discs to be held in the front. I don't even know how this blaster works. I'm looking at it. It looks totally like another Vortex blaster that, again, I've forgotten the name of. Actually, it looks kind of like the Diatron, I think, with the way it has a finger guard sort of in front of where the handle is. Because I remember the Diatron reminded me a lot of the LTAR blasters, the laser tag blasters that Hasbro released, and this has a similar look and feel. I almost thought it was a laser tag blaster when I first saw it, and I was like, really? Holy crud. But Dart Blaster Disc Blaster, we'll see kind of what it does. It doesn't look like there's any way to put more than one disc in here. So,
yeah,
sure. It's only got 3 discs of storage, so I can't imagine there's more than a single shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with a lot of these blasters to keep in mind is the biggest complaint we're hearing from people online is a lot of the blasters are single shot.
Right.
You don't get that same feel or aesthetic you get with the Unstrike line where it's like, okay, I have an 18-round magazine, I'll just load it up and be able to fire for days. Or I have a 36-round drum, I'll be set for a lifetime, you know. With these, it's kind of going back more to the grassroots of Nerf and saying, hey, instead of more convenience, we're going to make blasters that look cool. They may only fire one shot, but they're all going to do something kind of different or look kind of different. And it's up to you just to have fun with it. So it's not necessarily about performance. It's more about, I would say, style.
Right. It's definitely going, hey, we just want to see if you think this is cool, and you'll buy it because you think it's cool and not necessarily because it gives you a huge tactical advantage.
And it's interesting to point out, too, because the ones that have packaging inside the Zombie Strike case over at the Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, they were both Target exclusives. The Sludge Fire and the Hammer Strike. So, is it are these ones closer to being released than the other ones? Because these ones are in packaging, exclusively for Target. The other ones don't have that same release date and time on there, I don't think.
Yeah, I know that IO9 released an article talking about the Zombie Strike line, and it lists them as being a 2013-2014 lineup. So they're talking about some things that are going to be available spring 2014. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't release them all at once, because this is sort of a huge offering to just drop on people all at one time, and we already have a lot of other Nerf stuff coming out soon, like the Mega Centurion and the Rapid Strike.
The Rebel line's coming out in a couple months.
Right, and retailers are already going to have to clear shelves of sort of older product, make room for all of those new things, plus now a girls line and the zombie line, and that's sort of a lot all at once to bring out. What have we gone over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's 7 blasters actually. We almost forgot one. The Ricochet, which I believe looks like there's no point of reference for me here because the blasters are just sort of, their pictures were taken in front of white backgrounds.
Yeah.
But it looks like a Vortex Jolt. Like it looks about that size. Like
a minimalistic quick fire blaster. Which is
like
odd because
really
they already
tiny.
have one shots like that, but I guess it's kind of like how there's the Night Finder and then there's the Jolt still.
Right.
You know, you can have these kind of minimized setups that might not perform as well, but are better for a quick one shot that you can just carry as backup.
Right. So yeah, Ricochet. But and then that's not even counting some of the other stuff that's being released that they've talked about with this line in particular, and who knows what they're going to be doing with the Rebel line. So
I mean, all the deals we've been seeing recently inside Target, these ridiculous clearance sales on some of the blasters like the Raven, some of the magazines for the Vortex line. It's because they need to make room, especially Target, because a lot of the better blasters coming out, like the Alpha Trooper, the Zombie Strike lines, they're Target exclusives. Target must have really been levying Nerf and saying, hey, we're seeing great sales for your product. We're seeing great, probably, accessory sales, too, because every Target in my area, and I checked about 10 Targets, also out of darts right now. Just completely sold out.
I don't know what's up with that.
It's got to be free money for them or so. Well, for Nerf, they make a lot of money off of those, so it's probably really good that they're all sold out. I would assume that Target is still ordering more of those, potentially, but it could be because the Rebel line is coming out with their own style of darts. It's still elite, but just different coloration. And Zombie Strike has kind of like this green deco, like with the Zombie Strike logo on it.
Right.
So it might be just they're planning on ordering less of the 75 packs and getting more of the colored packs.
That wouldn't surprise me because it's really the best deal you can get right now is buying those 75 packs. So if Nerf and Hasbro release all of these different colors, but they are a smaller quantity of darts, that's just pure profit for both the retailers and Hasbro itself.
Yeah, it's a smart decision on their point, which makes me kind of think it's more Target's idea than it is Hasbro's idea. I'm not sure who's in charge of promoting products internally for certain exclusive blasters. Like, for example, the Alpha Trooper I don't think was ever officially announced by Hasbro.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it on anything. I don't even think I see it in any of the material that you get with other blasters or on the back packaging or on any of their commercials. It just talks about, the Hailfire, the Retaliator, Rampage, Strife, all that stuff.
Even the newer packaging for Centurion, Rapid Strike, the Revonic. So you see the newer stuff, the Alpha Trooper just kind of got skipped over, and I think it was because it was a Target exclusive. Even when we first started getting hints of it coming out, it was in Argos, which is a retailer over in Europe. It's not actually Hasbro. It was a retailer saying, hey, this is going to come out. We managed to get it from Hasbro, but they are the ones who ran with the marketing, the advertising, the promoting it. it wasn't Hasbro. So I have to wonder with some of these Target exclusive blasters, if Target was like, we need to come out with new blasters, here's some money, here's an idea of what we want, make it happen.
It wouldn't surprise me, and that very much makes sense just based off of Toys R Us and the Dart Tag line that is supposedly exclusive to them. So I never see any Dart Tag commercials or any advertisements for Dart Tag at all. And I don't think that's because Hasbro and Nerf don't want to advertise a product that they're making, but more because since it's exclusive to Toys R Us, it's Toys R Us's job to advertise those products, and they don't do it a whole lot.
Yeah. That's what makes the most sense. And maybe it's not a development thing. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't make sense for a retailer to say, hey, we have a design for a Nerf blaster. It's probably more like Hasbro's like, here's what we're bringing to the table. Who wants it? Give us money and we'll let you know what happens.
Right. I'm sure they all bid for, having exclusive blasters, and they're just sitting there going, well, this looks really cool. Zombie Strike. Yeah. And Toys R Us is probably going, well, we're already spending a ton of money on this Dart Tag stuff, so Target, they clearly. The other thing I'm wondering also is if Target said, hey, we saw a lot of sales in the Alpha Trooper. Whether or not it was mismarked or not, they're just looking at, total sales of units, and like, yeah, those sold out as soon as we got them. We got to get some more exclusive Nerf stuff.
Yeah, but I would think the decision to go exclusive for these would come out a while ago. It sounds like these blasters are developed 1 to 2 years ahead of time. So I doubt it was directly in response, but who knows? Maybe just the bidding process came really late and they're like, you know what? Yeah, it did sell really well. Go ahead and just put us down for this. We'll give you extra money to make sure it comes out first, so that way when the Zombie Strike series comes out, people will know to come to Target first to get these blasters, and when you eventually release the other ones, they'll figure just come to Target to get them instead of Toys R Us.
Right, and I was going to say that would make sense as well, just because clearly the Elite line, they had planned on making an Elite Alpha Trooper and an Elite, basically
Spectre.
everything. Spectre, yeah. And the previous ones were exclusive to their relative retailers, but I don't think that necessarily meant the next ones had to be. I don't think that Target has exclusive rights to the Alpha Trooper design or name or anything like that. It's possible they do. I don't know what the entire deal is, but it wouldn't surprise me if they said, hey, we're also going to be making Elite versions of these blasters. Since you already have the rights to the original versions, we'll sell them to you for X yada yada.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me that Nerf brings out these things and says, hey, we have this in R&D, and now it's going to be coming out. Do you want do you want rights?
Exclusivity.
Yep, that thing.
Well, it makes sense. I think you're exactly right. They probably come to the companies and say, hey, we have a newer version of this. Do you want to pay for it? Because if you look at the Spectre, it's not coming to Walmart, at least not yet.
Is it not? I'm pretty sure it is.
I thought it was just being released overseas and it wasn't going to see a U.S. release.
Ooh, that is possible.
Someone reported on this, so Josh, you keep talking. I'm going to Google it.
Well, so here's the thing. I was at a Walmart recently, and they had a plano up for the sports section that had a bunch of Nerf stuff. Like, it was actually just over the Nerf stuff, and all it has is Nerf blasters on it, and the entire section was almost completely empty. So it has some things as Arctic Shock and different Super Soaker things. It has Elite Strife, which I'm like, okay, there's a regular Strife and there's an Elite Strife, so they need to show the differences and which one's which. But all of their other things, the Rough Cut doesn't say Elite in front of it. The Rampage doesn't say Elite. And this is on the plano diagram showing which blaster's going to go where.
Real quick, did you mean the Strife when you say the Elite Strife, or are you talking about the Raven?
It says, I'm looking at it right now. I took a picture with it on my phone, and it says Nerf Elite Strife. And then, like, the shelf below that is Nerf Rough Cut 2x4, Nerf Vigilon, Nerf Praxis. So I'm like, one of them, and then above that is Nerf Rampage and Nerf Retaliator. So They said Elite with Strife, and that makes sense because they have them both.
Mm-hmm.
The regular Strife. Wait, no, they don't. You're right. They don't have. I don't know why they would put Elite Strife. You're right.
because all the stripes are Elite.
Yeah. It's odd they put Elite Strife there, but right next to the Elite Strife is Nerf Spectre. So it doesn't say Elite Spectre, but they haven't carried Spectres at that location that I was at for like the past year or so.
Yeah, so I looked it up on the wiki. So what it was is it was released in Singapore.
Right.
And it sounds like they're planning a release for Walmart. It's just going to be a while.
Might not be as long as we think, because I saw Plano.
Yep.
I'll send you the picture one of these days. Actually, maybe we'll put it on the blog or something. Who knows?
Maybe we will.
Crazy
Or maybe
stuff.
we'll do what we normally do, where we talk about stuff and forget.
Yes.
Because Shawn falls asleep while uploading the stuff.
That's really weird. Oh, sorry.
No, it's not that weird. I kind of sleep a lot.
No, I'm just looking at a lot of these say like Nerf or NER, NSTKE, which Nerf N Strike, and then Rough Cut. And then this one just says Nerf NS Elite Strife. But then in the corner they have Nerf NSE, so N Strike Elite Raven. I'm like, your naming conventions don't all make sense, but I saw the Spectre there in the corner and I had to snap a picture just because.
Better safe than sorry.
That it would be coming out soon.
Yeah. Speaking of which, there's one more thing we forgot to touch on for the Zombie Strike. It's melee weapons.
Melee.
So we're finally seeing a return of the Enforce line in a big way, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
So we get this new giant black and green sword.
Sword of Omens.
No.
Yeah, it goes up in the corners.
Wait, does it?
Yeah, it does.
I thought it... Like, not in the same rounded way, though.
Yeah, but before he says, give me sight beyond sight, and it's like tiny on the Sword of Omens, and then when he makes it like a full sword, it gets all big and curly. So it's just, mini Sword of Omens.
Fine, I'll give it to you. So Sword of Omens, I love the coloring on this sword, by the way. Green's one of my favorite colors, but I think if you have too much green on something, it looks bad. Black is a good way to kind of make the green pop out without it being overwhelming. So the new sword they have coming out looks awesome.
It really does look sweet. And I don't know if this is a retool of any of the other swords. I want to say it's not, because the blue one didn't have those little curves up in the corner. The yellow one sort of did, but it was more of a V shape. Mm-hmm. And then the red, I don't remember the names of the swords in case you guys haven't figured it out right now.
Marauder
and then
Advantage.
The big freaking sword was just huge, and it's clearly not that one.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually closely resembles the blue sword, whichever one that was, with the way the tip goes, because I know the yellow one had more of a Tonto tip, for those of you who are actually familiar with any of this terminology.
Tonto was a Native American who used swords to fight zombies during World War II.
That is historically accurate because Shawn is a historian.
Yep, it's true.
True facts. But
Everything I say is true.
New sword looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love the color scheme on it.
Also, besides just that, I mean, it's easy to come out with a recolor of a sword. They used to make Enforce weapons all the time, and you never really see them in Toys R Us or Target anymore. For HVZ a month ago, I was hunting around for a new melee weapon to use, and I ended up settling on the G.I. Joe Snake Eye sword.
Yes.
It looks really sick, by the way. But even those are hard to find. But back on point, Enforce stuff isn't really around anymore. Or if it is, it seems like it's really expensive because it's back up at a regular price or inflated because they aren't selling, and I don't know why.
Every time I see it, it looks like it's old stuff that they just had in backstock and they brought it out, but no one realized they should change the price on it, so it's still like $30 for a Nerf mace. And I'm like, I bought 10 of them at Goodwill for $2 because you guys had clearanced them at Target and people still weren't buying them for like 10, so you just gave them to Goodwill.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing new types of melee weapons too. So there's a machete that's, with the size of it, looks more like a giant knife than a machete. But
machete.
Machete kills.
Yes.
Machete kills again.
Yup.
Line of movies, super great. Well, not line. It's one movie right now, but they're making the sequel
And
with
then
Danny
multiple
Trejo.
sequel.
Yes. But what's nice about this is there's debate as to how much this is a reference to, or this whole line is supposed to be for humans versus zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, it could be just Hasbro's capitalizing on the popularity of zombies, but a big part of HVZ, anyone who goes to the game, melee weapons are king. They are extremely useful. Unlimited ammo, quick taps.
Yup.
It's integral to survive to make sure you have enough melee people to carry you through the rounds.
Yeah. Definitely. Learned that this weekend the hard way.
Yep. And with all these, I'm assuming, hopefully there'll be more melee weapons than just these two, the machete and the sword, but it's a great step in the right direction. It shows that Hasbro is looking at these items again that are a little bit older and saying, hey, let's redesign them, let's jazz them up a bit, let's come up with a couple new designs, and let's try and make this work again. Let's not give up on this idea. Which gives me hope for older blasters like the Mag Strike, that they'll look at that and say, let's try something like the Mag Strike again. You never know.
Yeah. No, exactly. People were using I can't remember the name of the blaster, but it's not the Mag Strike. It's similar to the Mag Strike, and the name is just gone right now.
I know
But
exactly what you're talking about. It's the Tommy gun one.
yeah, it has a rotating barrel and shoots like 20 darts out pretty much in rapid succession. And we rain fire down on some zombies with that thing. It was awesome. And there were people there that are less into Nerf and more just into this HVZ thing. They're like, oh, yeah, Nerf stuff. Like, where can I get one of these? And someone was like, yeah, they don't make it anymore. He's like, oh, they should really make something like this. So, I mean, just that right there, I had nothing to do with the conversation. I just overheard people talking. And there you go. That one's for free, Hasbro.
Take old stuff, make it like new stuff.
Yes.
Re-release the Secret Shot.
Exactly.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Elite version of the Mag Strike. Just saying.
God, I'd be so happy with that. Okay, and then the last thing is they have the Zombie Strike Starter Kit. And you get a couple things in this. You get a bandana that is the typical HVZ bandana that basically you wear one side if you're a human, the other side if you're a zombie.
That's groovy.
It's how you kind of indicate if you're alive or dead in the middle of HVZ. So that one seems very clear that it's designed for HVZ.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one is kind of like, okay, we know what we're going for with this. They also have this item called the Z-Bomb.
Yep.
Which is a big fat Nerf football that I don't know if they're trying to replace the sock grenade with this, or if they just thought it would look cool, but...
So they actually have two different Z-bombs, spelled with a Z at the end, because poor literacy
is cool.
One of them has what just really looks like a Nerf football. It's brown. All it does is have the Z logo stamped onto it. It's not even full football shaped. It's like if you took a football and kind of smushed it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of what it looks like. And I haven't seen a super clear picture of it because they had it in a package, and then it also comes with a pouch to keep it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes with what look like, I don't even know how to describe them. They look like shuriken, but
it looks like a buzzsaw on a bolt.
Yeah. It's like we kind of wanted a cog, but we wanted a throwing weapon, but we wanted a gear, so we just put it all together. And I don't know what it's even supposed to be. It doesn't look like it'll throw very well. I mean, again, I can only see it from one angle, from the pictures that were taken at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see what that offering sort of is, because it looks like they wanted to bring out a few things and then just couldn't make up their minds. So like, make it sort of like a football and then something else that looks cool.
Also, they have a brick.
Yeah, the second package has, again, another football, but it's a little bit different. It's green, and at the end has these 4 little feet, so you can kind of stand it up by itself. I don't know what it's supposed to be. The pictures aren't really clear enough to read some of the packaging. And then it comes with a brick.
A brick.
It is red, and for some reason, because everybody knows, like a stick in a zombie apocalypse, sticks will break. So what do? Put tape around them, right? You tape up those sticks. Apparently, bricks do too, because this brick has tape all around it for some reason.
So I was talking to Josh last week, and we were talking about socks in HVZ, and we were like, why do people, okay, so melee weapon, you're melee into someone. With a blaster, you're shooting someone. What is the point of a sock? It's not to be a grenade, because you only throw it at one zombie to get them out. If you dropped in an area to kill a bunch of zombies, that'd make sense. And it's like, what's the point? And that's when I said, no, I know now. If you've played The Last of Us, one of the best weapons in that game is the brick. Because you just grab it, you throw it at someone's head and they're stunned, you run up, pick up the brick again, and you mash their face in and just completely wail on them with a brick. And I'm like, that's what a sock should be. It should be just like a one-time use thrown melee weapon.
And that made a lot of sense to me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I heard people talk about it, I always heard grenades. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. You're, like you said, hitting one zombie. When you said that, I was like, I don't know why no one's ever said that before, because that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. But it's weird because the way
Nerf thought of it.
Yes, Nerf understood. But yeah, you have to put tape around it, otherwise if the brick breaks, it won't hold together.
I guess, yeah. I don't know what the thing is that it comes with. So it's, once again, it looks just like the football, but it's green, and it has sort of these lines in it, these contours that almost give it a similar look to a
Grenade.
Mm-hmm. Where it's got little squares all over it. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to be. But it comes with a brick, and presumably a pouch as well, because the other one with the weird saw, cog, nut, bolt thing comes with a pouch, so presumably they have the same thing. And it looks like there's another one that has a blue, and then I can't tell what the other thing is in it, because when they packaged it, they put the bandana or something in it. I can't tell in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that they'll be all over the shelves, and people will either love them or hate them, and I can't see a huge use for them other than if you want a brick with tape on it to throw at people.
That is something that sounds nice. Yeah. It looks like it's a bandana, a shirt, and a Z-bomb, the one you're looking at. That's the starter kit.
Yeah, I'm looking at the back. It's a gear. The cog. The other one's supposed to be like a missile or a rocket or something, but it doesn't look like it at all. Brick. That one, yeah, I mean, it's cool that they are trying something different. Like maybe they think that people will use these in HVZ. I don't know. Maybe they're just maybe they're not even trying to capture the HVZ demographic. Maybe they're trying to show kids how fun HVZ can be. That way, once they get older, they'll continue looking into HVZ so they won't grow out of Nerf. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they're trying to. I don't know, Hasbro. You tell me.
Okay, Josh. So, final thoughts on the Zombie Strike line.
So, for me personally, and I like the sword. I think the sword looks cool, which is kind of funny because I always buy melee weapons and never end up using them. The hammer shot, I know people, like I said, that are excited about it. Me personally, if it performs amazingly, maybe, but I'm not super, oh my god, that's going to change the game. Most excited I am is got to be the Sludge Fire, just because I want to see something that shoots 3 things at once, how viable it is. It might be terrible, and I might just run it just because it's fun to shoot 3 darts at once. So, But that's really kind of the only thing I'm super looking forward to in this set. I do like the way some of the things look, but knowing Nerf, they're going to come out and be probably pricier than I would want to pay for some of these things, since I already sort of have a setup I use in our games. And for being non-clip system and stuff like that, like I might pick up a Side Strike if it's relatively cheap just to mess around with it, paint it, stuff like that.
Right. So with me, I'd say it breaks down to I love the idea that they're coming out with new decorations and styles for blasters. Definitely, if you want to mix it up and do some other different themes, like you can do medieval, you can do futuristic space, which you already kind of do. I love the idea, even if you're trying to recycle old designs for blasters, I just like the idea that you're coming out with different styles so people can feel a little bit more customized with their loadout without having to use different types of blasters. The new dart design is great too. I'm a big fan of that. That way it's easier to kind of mark your own darts. You're not dealing just with the elite streamlined blues. You can have different colors to kind of represent yourself. And on top of that, I love that they're bringing back melee weapons and making that a thing again. N-Force has been gone for a while, so I'm really excited to see the resurgence of that and to see the influence on HVZ. My biggest gripe, I would say, is you're dealing with a lot of single-shot blasters, so I would like the option to either have more powerful multi-shot options instead of just the Sludge fire is one 3-shot burst. I'd rather see something that maybe could do more 3-shot bursts, or something that might be compatible with the clip system, like a
Right.
redesign of the Retaliator, similar to how you did like the Hammer Strike. Just put some bandage around it, wooden grip, just design it to make it look a little bit more zombie apocalypse-esque. It'd be awesome. It'd be cool. You get the magazines. Even just redesign the magazines to make them look slightly different. Like maybe instead of doing orange, you do like green and brown. Who
Yeah.
knows? It would be another quick way to also differentiate magazines so people don't mix them up all the time. But
Agreed.
overall, I'm excited for it to come out. I know I'm going to buy a couple of the blasters. I know I'm definitely
Definitely.
going to buy the melee weapons. Machete, sword, both of them are going to be in my
Oh yeah.
collection by the end of whenever they're released, which I think those are coming out in August as well, if I recall correctly. I think the sword is supposed to. I don't know about the machete, but definitely stay tuned. I'll give you an update once I get to mess around with them a little bit.
Definitely. We'll be here. We'll let you know what we think. Let us know what you think about the line, either when it comes out or what you think it's going to be like before it comes out.
Yeah, in the comments below, just feel free to kind of write out what you're excited about, what you're not excited about. We want to hear your feedback, and I'm sure Hasbro does too. Just let us know what you think will work, what you think won't work, and what you would change going forward for the Zombie Strike line to make it more successful.
Yeah, so, rate, comment, subscribe, because Sean didn't say that this episode. And
No, I was too tired.
also, really quick, for those of you who don't know, because if you don't follow our blog, bayareanerf.com, there's a link to a petition regarding that we just want to, it's not really a petition, but it's more of want to show Nerf that there is interest in accessories for blasters being sold individually. So things like the Elite Pinpoint sights, more stocks, more barrels, heck, even stuff like in the Zombie Strike line, the holsters and things like that. Just sort of a show of force of the fandom, how many people are really interested and have voiced these opinions. So if you go there, there's a link somewhere in the top corner. If you want to sign, if you wanted to see more stuff like that come out, let them know that there's a market for it.
And
And
also,
yeah.
one last note too, if you're looking at our blog, bayareanerf.com, we do have a calendar up on there for events going on within the Bay Area for Nerf. They
Mm-hmm.
include kind of like tactical stuff like Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch. You also have games like HVZ going on, Assassin, which is persistent games lasting throughout the month. Check it out. If you're running a game in the area and you want us to kind of give some coverage to that game or give you some more recognition, just shoot us over a message. Feel free to comment in the description for this video or on our blog as well. We're fine with just giving you permission to the calendar to do some modifications if you want, or if you want Josh and I to set it up, we can do that for you too. Just reach out so we know what's going on.
Yeah, anybody that we aren't covering in the Bay Area right now, it's just because we don't know you exist, so let us know, and we'd
Mm-hmm.
love to put you on there or give you
Definitely,
access to it.
we definitely have a growing community. I feel like every weekend there's at least one game going on, if not two games. There's
Mm.
always something going on every weekend. So feel free to check out the calendar, show it to your friends. If you got events, let us know. We'll add them on there.
Yeah, other than that, stay tuned here to Nerfcast on the blog for all the times that we're not on the air, which is, the rest of the 2 weeks until you listen to us again, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Don't leave.
But yeah,
Yeah, on that note,
wraps it up.
I'm pretty sure I need to go to sleep now because it's like 11:30 right now.
Yes.
It's so much later than we normally record, but I really just wanted to talk to you guys because I miss you.
Keep those brains healthy.
We should have ended the podcast like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah.
You just screwed it up.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're gonna just start playing the music now. So from everyone here at Nerfcast, this is Shawn.
And this is Josh.
Happy tagging.
Happy tagging.